Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Danny Loves Movies. I am your host, Danny Till, and with me, I got a really fun guest today. She's a cool person. She's super funny. She's what you would call a real one. She's just one of those. And we got Thelonious Johnson. Thelonious, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. My day just started. I woke up at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and yeah, unemployment is great.
Well, you are looking great doing it.
I know. Thank you. Clock it.
I was about to say, so I like to start every episode by asking my guests, do you remember where we met for the first time? Because admittedly, because I have a pretty good memory with stuff like that. I can't remember when the first time we met, because you were just blending into the scene right away. And I just can't remember, the pinpoint of, where we, first met. I'm sure it was at a mic somewhere. It was probably at maybe Players.
I think it may have been Players. I don't know. Because I know that, I started in 2019. Then the pandemic happened. And then, in 2019, I was kind of, popping in and out. And I think I was only going to, What the Fuck Wednesdays at, what was it? It used to be Poorhouse. Yeah. Now it's, some...
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot?
No. It was... It used to be Poorhouse. I forgot what it was called beforehand, but Mars Parker used to run that mic. And I had met Tina San Lucas and some other comics too, like Jesse Rivera and some other people. So I was kind of popping in and out. And then once everything started opening back up, I think that's when I started branching out and going other places too. And I don't know. At first, I wasn't really talking to people, so. If I didn't know you already, I kind of just I like to stay in the background and peep shit before I decide if I'm going to let people see my personality or not.
Sure. Because for me, I started in 2016, but I was one who was very in and out, and people would constantly tell me join the SAC page, and I did eventually in 2021, but it's because it's a group you have to be invited in, and it's not it's not a group you can just type up on Facebook or search in the Facebook engine. You got to get invited first.
Right.
Because I remember do you remember Al Schumann? Did you ever meet Al Schumann?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He actually used to work with my ex.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I used to work with my ex. I don't know if he still works for that company, but I hope my ex gets fired.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember going as far back as because I met him in 2018 at Blacktop, which is the comedy club in Rockland. Did you ever do Blacktop?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, not a great place, but
it's Rockland.
Yeah, it's one where those of us who have done the room, we were just we all survived Blacktop. It was proud moment. But yeah, I remember Al was constantly saying, "Oh, just join the stacked page." I'm
yeah,
it's a private group. You have to be invited in, and then you go through type in whatever you got to type in, and then you're officially a part of it. So it's because of that I was just trying to remember off the top of my head which mics were said days,
right,
and where they were. And I was telling somebody last night, the comedy spot, I have not been in a very, very long time. And it was because when I would try to find it, and when I was 19, I would get lost, because back when it was when you type in the address, it was because I don't think they still have this, the old studio for when they did the comedy classes for Comedy Spot. That used to be a whole separate building, and it was right around the corner. So I remember the first time I went to the Comedy Spot, I got there super early, but I pull up to the address where they said it was, and I'm just this is not the club.
Right.
And I'm walking up and down the street asking random bar patrons, "Hey, do you know where Comedy Spot is?" And then they just go, "No."
Right.
And then I finally found it, but then it's one of those things where it's on a certain side street, and again, I wasn't used to Midtown Sac yet. Now I'm kind of used to it. I can get my way around, but as a 19 and 20-year-old, I just could not figure my way around. So it was just this is not worth it. I'm gonna try to find other spots. Do you remember the first place you started doing stand-up in Sacramento? Do you remember the first club you did?
I did Laughs Unlimited because Carlos Rodriguez, he was still in town, and he used to do the Pro-Am. And when I started comedy, my friend actually knew Carlos and was all help my friend get on, and he put me on the list for the Pro-Am. And so I had a whole bunch of my friends come out, and that was I think the first time I did comedy, and it was there, and I killed. And then I started going to Poorhouse, which is, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like this Korean like fusion club place. Damn, what is it called? Pocha House. It's Have you ever been there?
I don't think so, no.
And the $2 train shots?
No.
I used to go there because they had Metal Mondays, and we had a friend who used to spin records. So we would go on Mondays, get fucked up listening to metal records. And then I found out that they had a open mic on Wednesdays there.
Right.
And Mars Parker was the one, he was hosting it. It was his thing. And and I went to one of those, and I remember the first joke I did, it was about haunted vaginas. And because I love horror movies, and I was talking about why don't they do a horror movie about haunted vaginas and shit. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Just out of curiosity, how did that, what was the punchline on that joke? Like, do you remember it?
I remember there was many. I was like just talking about, because I was talking about the movie Teeth, and that, vagina dentata, she's got the teeth, she's biting dicks off, and like I remember starting it talking about like she's biting dicks off and twisting them off, and like all the guys are groaning and shit, and I was all like, why don't they have more horror movies like this? Like, what if like a dude's trying to fuck like a possessed girl, and her pussy's possessed, and like dudes will hit anything, don't matter. And then just talking about, what did I say? I was all like, damn, like he thinks that like she's got like this ominous fog coming out of her coochie, and he's Googling like if queefs can be turned from liquid to air or some shit like that. And then I can't remember it at all. Okay, next question. Yeah. I smoke a lot of weed.
That's totally cool. We all do. Shit. But I was like, it's like when you did that first set, like, did you have like a lot of nerves? Like did you have like, were you like super nervous? And then when you got up there, like you were like totally relaxed. Like when you first did that first set, like what were your feelings like leading up to it?
I was for sure nervous because like when you're just like kicking it with your friends and being crazy, like they already know like how you are. Yeah. So it's easier, like that audience demographic is always easier. And then you get on stage and like I'm very like, Jasmine's very personal. Oh, shit. Can we cut that out? I don't want people to know my real name, even though they do. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
at all.
So I feel like I'm very personal, and I feel like I don't want to have to share myself with everybody because I don't feel like people deserve that energy. But on stage it's different, it's kind of a persona. So I'm all like, I'm just going into like my Thelonious mode, and yeah, I was super nervous because I didn't know how they were going to receive me. And like I'm seeing all the looks in the crowd because they're not expecting what I'm talking about right now, right? And but people were really fucking with me, and I just remember Mars Parker was all like, yeah, we need more females like you like this, because there's nobody out here talking about haunted vaginas. Like, that's insane. So yeah. And then afterwards, like I was still super nervous, but yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, like, that's what I really like when I watch you is that you're very your material is so you, like there's like I think the best compliment I can say about you and your act, everything is like there's nobody like you. You're so you, and then that's the best part of it. And I'm curious, like, so when you like were starting it, like when you like were you a funny kid? Like were you like with a group of friends, like were you like the funny one, or were you like more the quiet one?
Growing up, because I grew up in Merced, I think I was very quiet. And like I had popular friends, and so I kind of just stood in the background and just kind of chilled or whatever. And I think my close friends thought I was funny. And then like when I moved up to SAC, when I was like, I think it was like 15. Yeah, when I moved up here, I think I was kind of just in this, energy of that. I don't give a fuck if anybody likes me or not. I'm just going to be myself, because I was too busy trying to already uphold an image that I didn't feel comfortable with, or I didn't feel like that was me, but I felt like I had to do that for survival needs. But yeah, and I don't know. All my friends have always told me I was super funny. I come from a funny ass family. My sister, she's funny. My mom, my uncles, like my mom's side of the family is just really hilarious. So I just think we just come from a funny family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like what's funny for me is so like when I'm around like older classmates or whatever, and we're getting dinner, we're just shooting the shit. Like usually like I'm just like bringing like hard laughs, but like that's just a whole different thing. Because I feel like for me it's like when you're around people that you've known since you were like 13 or 14 or whatever. Like it's not a comfortability because I still was like sometimes get mildly angsty even hanging out with them because that's just how I naturally am. Like a very naturally shy person. Like on the first day of kindergarten, I sat in the corner the entire day. I didn't come and sit on the rug until day 2. Mm-hmm. So like, I've always had this little nervous energy, even like when I'm like still again 10 years in, and I still get nervous sometimes before each set because like a lot of the time too. Like I don't know what your like rehearsal is of your material, but like I will have shit like, ready to go where I'm gonna do this, 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 and this. And they go, okay, bring it up to the next stage, Danny Till. I get up there and I just forget everything. And I'm curious, like for you, like when you were starting out, did you ever have times like that where you're like you had prepared like your 5 to 10 minutes, and you get up there and you just completely just have a brain fart and you don't remember any of it?
I mean, sometimes that happens now.
Still does.
Well, yeah, I get nervous every time. And someone was telling me that if you're nervous, it's because you care. And I do care. So I do try to rehearse stuff. But sometimes, like, I feel like I'm a little bit too hard on myself. Mm-hmm. And that I'm trying to be such a stickler for, like, remembering everything, getting all the punches, that, you kind of forget to at least let yourself go a little bit. So in that way, you're a little bit more comfortable about, the material that you're bringing into your art. So, sometimes I go up there and I'll blank on stuff, but then I try to bring it back or I try to move it on and just be all like, it's okay. Like I forgot about that. And like sometimes I'll get off and I'm all like, oh, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. And I'm all like, okay, well then go back and just fucking rehearse that shit and just remember that those are the things that you wanted to bring up. So.
Yeah, and I'm curious, and I'm sure you've had these, but like, have you ever done a set where like you changed so bad that like when you're driving home, you're just like, I fucking hate myself. This is the worst fucking day ever.
Yeah, everybody for sure.
Is there one to you that like sticks out the most? Because I have mine.
I don't know, because sometimes I'll be all like, that was dog shit, and then someone like, oh no, you did great. That was so funny and blah blah blah, and I was like, no. That was dog shit. But if I can remember, I think. Okay, next question. I forgot that I had to think. I had to bring my brain for this.
Like I'll say, but like mine was, I don't know if this place is still around, but it was a place called Bar 101 in Old Roseville. They used to have an open mic. I believe it was on Tuesday or Wednesday nights. And then I came back, roughly like a year later or so, and they combined music open mic and comedy open mic into one, which is a fucking terrible idea. Yeah, it is so dumb because it's completely different audiences.
It's not a vibe.
And I remember one time they got told, "Hey, we're gonna put you on in the middle." I'm like, okay, and I thought the middle was maybe 45 minutes later, maybe an hour. No. By the time I get up, the lights are shut off.
Damn.
They're putting the bar stools on the table. They're wiping down the bars. And again, the bands are still performing, but they're just performing for each other. And because I was just sitting there waiting for like almost 2 hours to go on and nobody's here anymore, I'm just going to put everybody through like the darkest, most fucked up set they've heard. And I remember watching this footage, and you see one of the barkeeps like wiping down shit and then like putting glasses up, and you just see their reaction of just like, holy shit. And I was driving home and I'm like crying my ass out going, I fucking suck. I can't do this shit anymore. Oh my God, everybody was right. And I haven't had one of those, thankfully, as of late, thankfully. But it's like, I won't lie, because it's like when I bomb, like it sucks, like because you never intend to like bomb. And again, I would say there's maybe, I don't know if you feel about this, I feel like there's only a handful that can get up there however many minutes they have, whether it's 3, 10, 20, whatever, they can just kill every time.
Right.
I feel like there's only like a handful. And I'm not saying like we don't know a lot of talented people, but I think there's only like maybe 5, maybe 6 that can like truly like do that and just knock out just dynamite.
Yeah, and you got to feel it every time too. And sometimes I feel like that also contributes to bombing. Like if you're just not feeling it, then of course you're not going to do well. You know what I mean? Like your heart's not in it.
And also, there's times also when you're doing an open mic and you're just performing for comics, and it's like because we know each other's jokes, like because there are some people who we know who have done like the same 5 to 10 minutes for like a year and a half or whatever, and I'm just like. I've seen you tell these jokes. I don't know how many times, and it's like it's just us. Like, do you want to just try some new stuff out?
Right.
Because if anything, like that's a good thing about performing for each other is we will be honest and be like that wasn't good. You suck. Like work on this, and sometimes that's helpful, and then sometimes where it's just like okay, you're just being a dick. And I'm not saying like there isn't valid criticism in that, but there's sometimes where I feel like. People are just. I feel like there are certain people that are just like, you're terrible. Get out of this. You don't belong here or whatever.
I don't see that. I definitely see when people definitely try to give me tags and stuff or like help me with jokes. And like if it sounds good, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's something I will think about, and I definitely think about it. But some people, I just feel like they just say shit just so they can have something to talk to me about. And I'm all like, no, that sounds retarded, so I'm not going to do that.
And also, and there's sometimes like where you're getting thrown these suggestions, you gotta if you pick one, it's because it's the one that sounds and feels like something that would come in through your through some of your setups and your punchlines.
Right.
Like if I appreciate people like wanting to help the punch up stuff, but if it doesn't sound like me or something that I would say, then it just and I'm sure like if they say it, this would crush me. It's like I don't know, because also the one thing too is because when you do your sets. Do you record them, whether it's visual or audio, a lot of the time, or no?
I should record them. I've recorded some of them, but I don't record them often, and I don't record the audio often. I did record some audio recently when I did Deaf Puppy, like some weeks ago. And I did listen back to it, but I don't know how I feel about listening to my own voice. The only time I can listen to my own voice is like in spaces like this, when I'm on a podcast and I'm having a conversation, but hearing myself do jokes, I can't do it. Like, but I do have some video from when I did this Portland festival, and I like watched it a few times. I was all like, wait a minute, that's me up there, baby. I'm looking great. Like I sound wonderful, but so now I think I'm gonna go back to like recording it and shit like that and listening. I should do more. But you know what? I actually thought about your last question about bombing. Did you ever do scoreboards?
Yes.
So
oh yes.
So I never did scoreboards, but there was another place that I used to get confused with scoreboards, and it was Ozzy McNaz's mic, and that was like off of Truxell. Was that Truxell? What was it called?
I forget. It was at a pub. There was only a
It's
handful
another
of them.
Sports bar. Yeah,
It was only a handful of them because I went to the first one. It was me, Danny Luna,
Fire.
Ozzy, and I forget there was maybe like 2 other people, and that was it. And then something happened at that bar, and then the mic was gone for a while.
Oh yeah, well they shot it up, and then another lady fell over. There was a time where I was there, and a lady fell over and hit her head because she was so drunk.
Yeah.
And then she was outside, and then another comic was out there, trying to help her, and this guy, I remember this guy ran, he ran in, and he was all like, hey, this lady done passed out outside. But I bring that up because at that mic, I think that was a time that I bombed, only because that bar was so rough and it had really bad hecklers.
Yep.
And so I remember bringing my best friend, and was Marcian with me then? I don't know if he was. I got to ask him. But yeah, I remember going to that mic, and I was doing my set, and this guy's like heckling the fuck out of me and like just really taking me out of my set. And I could see my best friend getting mad, and like she's like looking around for who the fuck this is. And the person who was heckling me was actually her dad.
Wow.
And she hadn't seen him in a long ass time. And she was like, Baron? I was like, this your daddy? I was all like, I see it. I see it in the face. But yeah, he was heckling me bad.
And I will
But
like,
that was a bad one.
Yeah, and I will say sometimes like heckling like can be fun just because like it can be fun in the sense like it can help you like in the back of your mind like get creative like how am I gonna just like nip this in the bud. And then there are sometimes also like I don't know what your thoughts are about crowd work. I know a lot of people have varying opinions on it. Because my thing is everybody thinks that they can do crowd work. Because I think good crowd work is really hard. Like
I think so too.
Because I understand why it's an easy way to get views. It's if you get a good reaction, that's the algorithms right there.
Right.
And then you have sometimes where you think like, okay, this audience seems like they're fun, they're gonna play along, and then the one who was like, okay, I'm gonna get this person in on the joke, and they just deny it. Like they have nothing, they don't want to be a part of it. Like for me, that was at Blacktop one time. The mic didn't start till later because we had to follow a magician. And this magician and if you know magician comedy, it's a lot of old people.
Really?
This audience was a lot of old people.
Wait, he was a comic and a...
No, so he was just a magician that had like little it was like imagine Carrot Top but in a top hat. Like, so it's a lot of props, but
that sounds awful.
Yeah, it was just one where I'm like, I understand why people of a certain age like this. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Oh, and then I don't know the name of this dude, but there was this old dude that used to come around every once in a while with a fucking ventriloquist dummy.
I think he came back.
Yeah, and I will. No offense to that guy. No offense to his puppet. I don't know what the hell that guy's name is. I remember his puppet being named Willie.
Yeah, it's like Wally or some shit like that. No, he came back. He actually came back, and I was hosting Comedy Spot, and he came back, and I didn't realize that what he was holding was a dummy on the inside of this little briefcase that he brought. And so when I put him on the list, like I put him towards the end because he had brought people, and like he left it back there and he opened it up, and I came back from after like introducing like the next comic going up, and I went back there. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then he was like, oh, this is so-and-so. And then he was kind of playing with it. And I was like, this is fucking creepy, bro. It was giving like goosebumps. It was giving like... It looks
like Slappy the Dummy.
Like the motherfucker from Goosebumps. I was like, oh, no. What was his name? Like Skippy or something?
Slappy the Dummy. Slappy the Dummy. It looks like Slappy the Dummy, but if it was a kid. And it was the creepiest looking thing. And the eyes move and all this shit. And I'm just like, I don't like this.
And he sat that shit up, and he had it looking at me. Oh, yeah. The head was turning.
Yeah, so I would say it looked more like the one in the far right corner.
Yes, with the red hair and the green eyes. Yes.
Imagine this if the hair was like slicked back.
Yeah.
And the audience reacted sometimes, but then there's other ones like we'd be watching this guy and we're like, oh, we're so fucked. And we would go up the one time I could think of is I went up. And I was trying to just play with because there was a lot of grandmothers and grandparents and stuff like that, so I just wanted to play a little bit more. And there were some that were cool that were playing along. And then this one lady, she was just I asked her hey, what's it like having grandkids in this was 2018, I think. What's it like having grandkids in 2018? They're always on their iPads. They must fucking suck a little bit, don't they? And then she just sent their arms crossed and they go, actually, I love mine. Mine are great. Do something with that. And then everybody's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I had 20 seconds left, so I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. And I think Roman Spinelli was the host that night. I was like, Roman, I'm done. Like, you come back up here, please.
Right. And I think crowd work, I think it's hard in that aspect because I think audiences are conditioned to know that when they go to a comedy show that the comics are going to pick on them.
Yeah.
And because when I have people who come to my shows and like, oh, are the comics going to pick on us? I was like, maybe, but you know what I mean? And I think there's this thing nobody wants to sit in the front row because they don't want to get picked on. They don't want to have to be, heckled by the comic or whatever. And for me, crowd work, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. I just... nah, y'all gonna sit here and listen to the content that I've been writing. So I don't really care for it. But sometimes in between jokes, I'll do a little crowd work. If somebody says something in the middle of a joke and then I'll kind of go with it. Like I did Kinfolk Comedy, Kendrick's show not too long ago, and I was doing my bit and I was talking about this homeless white dude calling me the N-word, and like this lady like kind of said woo and clapped, but it was like at the wrong time because she was drunk, and I was like, don't clap too hard, and then like, you know, the audience was like, oh, but yeah, I don't veer for my material too often to crowd work. I don't really care about the crowd.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
I do care about the crowd. I'm lying.
Because I don't know how often you watch comic crowd work at all. Because, like, I don't know if you even have, like, a favorite comic that you like to watch do crowd work. Because I'll just say, I think Patton Oswalt does it very, very, very well. Because I think he's just very loose, and I can tell it's like when you're going to one of his shows, you're here to have some fun. And obviously, Matt Rife's career blew up because of crowd work. And again, I know people shout him. I give him this respect because I remember when he was on Wild and Out, like because he's been in the game for a very long time,
right?
And I know like he was like ready to quit and go back and do other shit, and then he started posting clips on the one social media app he didn't want to be on, and that blew him up. But then I feel like then that's like the one thing that people forget. It's like you can't just start posting shit and then it's gonna go through, because like people forget like he has been a comedian since I think like 2011, maybe 2012. Like one of his first gigs was opening for Ralphie May. Like how far back that was. And I don't know. Have you noticed like when you like, especially because I know you host a lot, like when you watch like new comics trying to come through and maybe start recording their stuff, can you feel in their energy and their overall vibe of like, okay, time for me to get famous real quick? Because I feel like some people I've come across like that, they just want to get views really, really, really fast.
I don't think I ever get that vibe too often, because I mean, you know, I just know that they're new. They're gonna record it. They're gonna post it. They're, you know, proud of what they're doing.
Sure.
So I'm very loose about that. So I'm just all like, you know, do what you got to do. Like whatever you need to do to make you feel like you need to come up here and accomplish these 5 minutes and then get the fuck off the stage so I can bring the next nigga up.
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, because I will say, like me, like I'm used to, like we're used to just getting up and doing it. I will say, like when people say, "Oh, I can never do that," I'm like, "Really? You just talking to a microphone?" Like, but I understand how like a lot of people have a fear of public speaking.
They do.
So like when I was a kid, I did not like public speaking. Like, were you a shy kid, or were you like pretty open when it came to like, you know, standing in front of the class and like reading something from like a textbook or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't really like speaking in front of the class, only because like I just felt like, you know, my humor is a little bit different. I've always had a different presence about me, so I just feel like I was a little too awkward and shit, and you know, nobody were gonna get it. Like, I guess the best way I can explain it, there was one time in 8th grade we had to do a presentation, and it was right after we had read The Hobbit, and so like afterwards I did a great presentation during that, and I was already nervous, and you know, my teacher was all like, great job, you know, blah 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 blah, and like it was right after that Superstar movie came out, that Molly Shannon movie, and I did the little superstar in front of everybody, and like everybody was just like, bitch. And I was like, okay, I'll get the fuck up now, I'll go sit down.
And I will say, like, what is it like? Because do you still keep in touch with people you grew up with, like, went to middle school or high school at all, or do you kind of? Okay, so I'm curious, like, because they've come and seen you like perform and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So like, what's the overall vibe like after the show, like especially like after a night where you just murder? Like, what is the reaction to like seeing, like, you know, like, they're like, oh my god, we want to come see you, and again, like when they do come and you have a great night, what's the conversation like? Where like, I don't know if you're sitting around at a diner afterwards, like just shooting the shit, like grabbing a bite to eat, like what's the conversations like after it's over with?
Yeah, a lot of my friends I've had for a long time. I've had quite a few friends over 10 years or more, and like my best friend, met her in high school when I moved up here. We've been friends for a long ass time since what? Damn. Anyways, I'm thinking, sorry.
No, you're totally
but
good.
The conversation, I guess, is, you know, like, you've always been super funny. We always knew, like, you were meant for something, you know, bigger than that. I'm proud of you type shit. But yeah, I think all my friends are very happy for me, and, you know, looking at everything that I'm doing and what I've done and what I continue to do. Like, I think there's a very, like a big sense of just they're proud of me. Okay, I'm not going to get emotional, but
Yeah,
I think they're proud of me, and I think they're happy that I finally found something that I'm like really passionate about. So
yeah, because like I'll say that for me, because I've been in and out of it for 10 years, and a lot of people are like, oh, I want to come see you. And again, the handful of times where, yeah, especially like open mics when people came, like sometimes I did well, sometimes I tanked,
right,
and occasionally like people come to like when I crush on a roast battle show, like, and then people who I know, they come to see me, and I had a good night, like that. That just feels so good.
Yeah.
Now it's like when you like when you do a show and it tanks, and they're all just like, we are so happy, you did so okay, you did your best. Someone's just like, shut the fuck up, I don't want to talk about this right now. Because I'll say the last time that happened was when me and Subas had a roast battle at Scotty's Hideaway in Orangevale.
Man, that's hard.
Yeah, it's just one where like, and I was talking about this on the previous episode we did last night. Like if you're doing a show at Scotty's Hideaway, it needs to be outside in the back.
Yeah,
because the acoustics in the room are not meant for the mics.
They're not.
Because the mics kept cutting out. And it's one of those things where also I don't know, I have nothing against, I talk about this on my last one, but I have nothing against all the people who are there, but sometimes some of the patrons can be a little prickish, I feel like, because I was telling about this with Kayleen last night, like, sometimes like if you're trying to get somebody's footage or record somebody's set, like, and if you're in front of somebody and they just tap you like, hey, I'm so sorry, like, would you mind going over there, like, and then you're just like, yeah, sure, no problem, that's totally fine, I'm so sorry, just be nice about it. This guy grabs my fucking shirt from behind and just goes, get the fuck over there, get out of my way, what the fuck you doing, dude? I'm like, I was ready to be like, you want to fucking go outside?
Oh, do you have hands, Danny?
Yeah.
No, I mean like fighting hands.
Yeah, no, dude, like, I don't, like, because my thing is, I know how to fight. I know I can kick people's asses. I just don't like walking around with the mentality of like, oh, I can beat the shit out of that person.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, real motherfuckers who got hands don't think like that.
Oh no, because it's like, again, I can scrap, but it's like I don't want to. But it's like if it ever comes down to it, it's like where I have no problem saying you want to go outside.
I would pay to see that.
And then usually when I say like you want to go outside, that's when people go no. I'm like, then why are you fucking trying to start shit?
Damn. Well, if I ever see you fight, just know I'm gonna be there with my camera talking about World Star. World Star. We need to bring back World Star. I miss that.
I do miss World Star too. Flip, how are we doing on time actually?
You're good. Only 30 minutes in.
All right, cool, perfect. So this has been a great little like pre-interview discussion, just like getting to know you a little more.
Yeah, you made me think about stuff.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Because like we usually like whenever we talk when we're sitting outside somewhere, just like especially like at streets and we like have like that little corner we have sit on those benches. It's just us, just like riffing about whatever. But I feel like you and I have never like had like an actual like sit down conversation where we just like chat about whatever. And I thought like we got a lot of information out. And because it's a movie podcast, I do like to ask everybody's questions. Like, when you were a kid, like, do you remember like one of the first things you watched as a kid, whether it's at home, like renting it from Blockbuster or seeing it in the theater? What was the first movie that just, or whether it's blew in your mind or just opened your eyes into just like, I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling when I'm watching this, but I'm feeling something that just channels so much of just like for me, when I saw E.T. for the first time when I was 5 or 4 or 5, I think it was 4, maybe 5. I like the shot, which it's the Amblin logo, but the shot of them in front of the moon. It's like I want to do that somehow. Like for you, like what was a movie like that for you as a kid?
That I wanted to be like, I wanted to do that growing up.
Yeah, or like what's a movie, something you watch where it's like it made you think like I want to maybe perform. Because like, did you want to be a child actor when you were a kid or no?
No.
Because for me, that's what I wanted. But like for you, like was there something that like you watched as a kid that just blew your mind in some shape or form? I
would have to say Godzilla, because I had a little animatronic little Godzilla thing like when I was like 4. I want to say 4 or 5. I can't talk.
Are we talking like the original Godzilla from like the 50s, or are you talking like the Roland Emmerich one that stars Matthew Broderick?
No, because I wouldn't have been 5 then. How old do you think I am?
Well, because I'm 29. Because I know you're a couple years older than me. Like, how old are you?
Couple of years. That's so sweet. Oh my god.
And how old are you? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 37.
Bullshit, bitch! Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Yo!
No.
That's
6 years apart.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I just turned 37 this year.
Well,
A
you
couple
don't
of years,
look it.
let's go, Donnie.
I would have guessed maybe like early to mid 30s, maybe because I turned 30 in December.
I fucking wish. Damn.
You look good. Don't worry.
Thank you. But yeah, no. It was the ones from the 50s. It were the black and white ones. Because I would always watch Godzilla movies, and my grandpa would always like record movies off of TV. And when I would go over there and my mom was like at work, he would let me watch that stuff, and I would always watch Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
But I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid.
Okay.
I just wanted to be part of the adventure. I didn't want to grow up to be on movies.
Okay, but like, because like speaking on dinosaurs, like I'm sure like everybody, like when you watched Jurassic Park for the first time, you were just like,
I loved it. Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I remember seeing it in theaters.
wow. And it was funny though. So like for me, like, because I started watching that franchise when I was like 4 or 5, similar to E.T. Like a lot of like the Spielberg shit, I was like around 4 or 5, maybe 6. And weirdly enough, and I will probably talk about this on either a Jurassic Park episode or like when we talk about movies in 2001. For whatever reason, I know in my mind I have seen Jurassic Park 3 more than any of the other entries in the franchise.
Jurassic Park 3 was good.
Yeah, and because people go ask why, I'm like, well, I think it's just because when I was a kid, I always thought the Spinosaurus was just cooler than the T-Rex. And people ask like why, I'm like, I think it's just because like when you're 5 and you're watching this fucking Spinosaurus just tear apart this plane.
Yeah.
And also just in my mind, like the roar of the Spinosaurus was just slightly more intimidating than the T-Rex. And I think also just because I think that was the one I saw first.
Right.
It's kind of like with the Scary Movie franchise, like my favorite is Scary Movie 3 because that's the one I saw first.
That's the worst one.
Have you seen Scary Movie 5?
I've seen them all, and after 2, don't watch.
All right, so how you feeling about Scary Movie 6 that's coming up?
I'm going to watch it because the Waynes are part of it again. And then I actually had a friend who auditioned for a part. They didn't get that part, but it's a friend of a friend. But so that's why I was like, I kind of watch it. I'm just going to watch it to watch it.
And when you were a kid, when you're so like because have you been like a giant comedy person like your entire life or?
Yeah, but I grew up on like BET Comic View.
Okay.
I grew up on the Kings of Comedy, the Queens of Comedy,
Def Comedy Jam.
Def Comedy Jam. So I grew up on that. So I liked that.
Oh, okay. Then now I actually do want to know like who are some of your favorite comics that performed on Def Comedy Jam. Because that's a big list.
It is a big list. You know who's actually really good? The girl who played Felicia in Friday. She did a really.
What's her name?
Yeah, I forgot her name, but she has a great clip on Def Comedy Jam, especially about her being light skinned. And she was great. Bruce. I always love Lunel. I've always loved. Who else was on there that I really enjoy? Samore's like one of my favorite comics of all time. And Adele Gibbons.
Oh, here we go. Angela Means.
Yes. She is hilarious.
Let's see. She's gonna pop up. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea she did Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, she did. She's an awesome comic, and she has a great set on there. And I think this is like right after she did Friday too. Okay. And I think people didn't realize that she was an actual like comic.
Yeah, because one similar was someone that's also do you know who Flex Alexander is?
That sounds familiar.
Did you watch the sitcom back in the day called One on One?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's him, Kyla Pratt, and because I rewatched One on One during the pandemic when it was on Netflix. And because it was just one of the shows, like I'm sure.
I can't believe you watched One on One.
Oh, dude, I watched. Like, I loved One on One. Like
you was watching UPN. That's for niggas. You know that, right?
I know, dude. I loved UPN. I would watch UPN every time when I would come from school. And usually there's a couple episodes that would come on of like it was either One on One. Sometimes they would air a rerun of God damn it, what's the name of this? I think it's
the
called
Parkers and all that.
I didn't watch the Parkers, but there was the one I think it's called All of Us. It's the one that Will Smith created. It's got the little kid from Daddy Daycare in it.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of it, but I would watch that one. So anyway, like I was watching One on One during the pandemic, and Flex Alexander was just hitting these jokes, and I'm like, Did Flex Alexander ever do Def Comedy Jam? And I just like randomly just typed down on YouTube Flex Alexander Def Comedy Jam. I was like, and he did. And I was just like, holy shit. And I was like, because I've seen this set probably more than most. Because I love Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
And I watched when I was like 8 or 9, because I obviously Rush Hour was big when I was a little kid. I mean, still is, but like Rush Hour was huge in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was just like, oh my God, I gotta watch more of this guy. And then like around 2005, when YouTube launched, you started uploading random stuff, and I saw his stand-up, because I'd never seen his stand-up. And I saw his clips. I watched Cheryl Underwood's clips.
My mom went to high school with Cheryl Underwood.
And I obviously I've never met her, but I've heard Cheryl Underwood's dope as fuck. I hear she is like super nice.
Yeah, she's great. We saw her when she came to Tommy T's here.
I was supposed to go to that
a long time ago. It was me, my mom, and her younger brother, because it was after my other uncle had passed away. It was like maybe a few years after that. But we all went. I think my cousins were there too. And because my mom has all these photos of her and Cheryl Underwood. Like they grew up in Atwater, which is the smaller town outside of Merced.
Yeah.
And like my family was kind of like the party family, because my older uncle would be the DJ in town. And so anytime there was something going on, like my mom was out there dancing with her younger brother and stuff like that. So she has all these photos of her and Cheryl Underwood. And so we went to that show, and then like my mom kind of heckled her because she wanted to get her attention. Yeah. And so then like Cheryl kind of looked at her and was like, Janice? Like she recognized my mom in the crowd, and then she was all like, I'm gonna meet up with y'all afterwards. And so like she like talked to us. And
do you have a picture with her?
I think my mom does.
Oh, okay.
I think my mom does, but it was a long time ago.
And the reason why I brought her up is because obviously we just had the roast of Kevin Hart. I haven't watched it yet because I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch the full 3 hour event.
I've seen clips.
But yeah, so Cheryl Underwood, a coworker of mine this morning was like, yo, who is Cheryl Underwood? I've never heard of her. I mean, like, dude, so like obviously she was the host of The Talk for, a decade or so.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, dude, like she is like one of these comics where it's like, again, she could be the filthiest comic on the lineup and she could kill, but also she can go to like a church benefit and be super clean and just take all the energy out of the room.
Right.
Because and I don't know how because I feel like also like I wish I could do more clean comics. I will say good clean comedy is really hard. I think clean comedy is really hard.
That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, like I think Nate Bargatze is the only comic I can think of who has specials that are rated TVG. And I'm just like, and I watch some of this clips, and I was just like, this is good. And then people ask like, is clean comedy really that hard? And I was like, yeah, because I'm not even talking about just like not saying fuck. It's like you need to make sure like, these jokes can hit to a certain thing. Like Taylor Tomlinson did the church circuit, and I didn't know that was a thing until do you know who Pete Holmes is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so did you ever watch his HBO show Crashing?
No.
Okay, so I watched that, and then when they get into this, I think it was like season 2 or maybe 3 when he's doing the church circuit, and Jessica Kirsten comes on and does a cameo, and they're discussing it, and I had no idea there was a thing, and people who are on it, like, they make pretty good money doing it. But because it's a church circuit, you can only go within like a certain, like you have to stay within this box.
Right.
And I totally get it. I totally understand. And I do think like coming from that and then going into more broader areas, I feel like that opens up your joke writing ability to where it's like I can do both. And I'm sure there's probably people who could do both clean comedy and normal edgy shit. But if somebody goes like, can you do clean comedy? I'm like, you got to give me a couple days to like try to think of jokes that are like suitable for like people under the age of like 16.
I don't know if I could ever do it. I guess if I like really worked at it, but you would have to give me like a month.
Right. Because it is really hard. And when you're writing jokes, like, do you write out word for word or do you just have a premise and then you think of the punchline as you go?
I kind of think of the premise and then some of the things that I want to say, like as far as the tags, then I'll write that word for word. If I'm like coming up with it on the fly and stuff like that. And usually a lot of times when I get like premises for jokes, I'm like with my friends anyways, just talking about life and shit. Yeah. So then I'm just all like, that was a joke. And then I'll go ahead and write it down. And then I'll just like write whatever things that were talked about that were super funny, like connections, comparisons and things like that. So
Yeah, because for me, like going back to like talking about like recording, like I would always try to do like audio or like visual or video. I mean, video recording, and then I randomly asked, like, do you know who Morgan Anderson is? I don't know if you ever met her when she was still in the sax scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so
She was actually the comic who she was the comic who when at Ozzy's mic and that lady passed out.
Yeah, yeah.
She was one of the people who was trying to make sure that lady was okay and was
Okay.
all like, call the ambulance because it was a crazy ass day. That was the same day that my friend had saw her dad that she hadn't seen in hella years. So.
But yeah, so like I randomly DM'd her one night because she was just when she did the roast battles here, she would just murder, and I messaged her. I'm
Oh
like,
wait, no. I'm thinking of somebody else.
okay.
Damn, cut that out.
Oh, okay.
I'm lying. That wasn't her. I'm
Okay.
thinking of a different Morgan.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. But like, I randomly DM'd her one night. I was like, hey, like when you do a set, like how many times do you like record, whether it's audio or visual? And she goes, I usually 90% of the time I do audio, and then sometimes I do visual, but I record every set. And I will say, I think that as much as video, you can see how your like presence is, like how you're standing, like walking around. But I do think audio really helps when it comes to flow, timing, and pauses. Because when you have 5 minutes, I realized way too late. If you have 5 minutes, you like don't try to cram 5,000 jokes in. I mean, like you in terms of just like know which jokes are gonna have a good flow. And then just like work those out. Like especially if you have 3 minutes, it's it's like pick one or two bits that you know are gonna work within this time, and don't try to rush through them. Because if there's one bit where I know you're gonna have to take your time, just take your time.
Right.
And I learned that really late. And when I did Death Puppy, the one time I've done it so far, I really took my time during those 5 minutes. But because I took my time, I got more laughs that night than I had in the last couple weeks before that. Because I realized you don't have to cram so much in.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, if you can't get to this bit tonight, try it tomorrow or just some other time. And I learned that, like, just like I said, just way too late in. And I'm curious, like, when you're meeting new comics, like, are you somebody that, like, tries to give out advice, or is it one of those things where it's just, like, if people ask me, I'll give it to them, but, like, I'm not going to be the one who, like, wants to try to be, like, help new people out?
If people ask me, I will give them advice, but I always ask them first when they ask me for advice. I always say, like, are you a person are you a person who's actively listening? And I wait for them to give me a response, because nobody expects to be asked that.
Yeah.
And if you are like, I'm all like, okay, how about this? What are you trying to get from me as far as information? And maybe I can give you a little something, because I don't like to waste my time, especially when there have been times in the past where like newer comics have asked me, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Things like that. And I've given them advice, and I felt like it was really good, thorough advice. And then it kind of seems like they just throw it out the window. So I'm all like, there's no point. So that's why I started asking people, especially after like the 5th or 6th comic who asked me, I was like, are you a person who is actively listening? Because if you are and you say yes, then we can sit down and have a conversation. But I'm not going to have a conversation with you if I feel like it's a waste of my time. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And, when people are like, can I send you a video? Don't. No, please don't. Because I don't want to see it. I'd rather see you on stage, see it live for myself.
I'd rather see it in person.
Yeah. And then if you have questions like, oh, did you see my set? I'll be like, yeah. And if I didn't, I'll be like, no. Like, I keep it really honest with people. And I feel like sometimes it can rub people the wrong way. Because I feel like with comedy, there's an ego boost, right? So, everybody wants to feel like they're super funny, and that's why they're doing it. And like everybody wants to get fluffed up by their ego. I'm not going to do that for you, because nobody was fluffing my fucking ego when I started in the scene. And I don't expect my ego to be fluff. I just expect to be good. So
do
the work.
I will say, like when I went and did the comedy spot for the first time, because it was like the first club I actually did stand up in, I tanked. And then, because it happens.
Right.
And then the guy who was recording my set, he's like, I think he's like in his like, maybe I think he was in his 40s, maybe early 50s. And then I just said, like, that was my first time performing at a club. He's like, dude, that was your first time? Like, dude, come on. Because it's just, the first time, the first time is going to be rough. Because again, like, I understand, like, when people say I'm nervous, because you do have to get up in front of people. There are lights on you.
Right.
Because I'll say some certain venues, like, if the lights are so bright, I'm going to miss the light in the corner that's telling me to wrap it up.
Right.
And it's not like I want to try to run the mic. It's just like, I was like when I did the comedy spot, I was so in my head, and people were just sitting there with their arms crossed.
Right.
And it's like, they did not care what I had to say.
So you bombed the first time you did comedy?
Yeah. And then it was totally fine. I got a couple laughs in the beginning, but then it just dried out for the last 4.5 minutes. And he said, hey man, that was your first time? Like, dude, it's okay. And gave me a nice fist bump, and it's like, just keep trying. Like, and if it's something you feel as though you like doing, stick to it. And I will say, like, if people ask, like, you've been doing it for a long time, like, it's a lot of it's because, like, I like it, but also it's like, I like hanging out with you guys. I like shooting the shit.
The hangs be the problem.
The hang is the one reason why I probably have stuck around so long.
Yeah, because the hangs are fun.
Yeah, because I acknowledge, because when people go like, dude, Danny, like, people like you, like why are you so hard on yourself? I'm like, well, it's because I've been in this for so long. And I will say, like, doing this, I feel like I've found, like, somewhat of an angle into, like, potentially, like, branching out and doing other stuff. But it's like, I'm sure there are probably people who are just like, oh, Danny again? Like, great.
I'm sure that's not what they're thinking.
But I know, and people have said, it's like, dude, like, I know you probably think everybody talks shit on you, but, like, nobody really talks shit on you.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't hear anything.
And again, I appreciate that, but it's just, again, it's a lot of, like, self-doubt in my head, because I feel like if anybody who goes into performing and is like, oh, I'm the shit, I'm like, no, you're not. and again, no, if you can murder.
There's only one person who can do that, and that's Alvin Duke, because he is a shit.
Alvin Duke is. Dude, he's the only person who can like, I'm a killer, I'm the shit, and then he does it.
And
I would give you, like, Alvin is one of the 5 or 6 comics who I've never seen bomb ever.
Yeah.
And whether it's open mic or an actual gig show, I've never ever seen him bomb.
No.
And again, and he's another one who will keep it honest and keep it real, and it's be like, Daddy, I love you, but that shit fucking sucked, dude. and I was just like, damn. I was like no, but listen. And he was saying, listen, that shit was terrible, but you gotta just move on and try something new. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've stayed in it so long. And I will say, like, had I not started, I would not be as social as I am now. I would not know as many people, like, because I was a very shy and lonely kid. So it's like, doing this as I had more people in my life than I could ever imagine. And now we're going back, and because that was a huge segue, we'll go back into our topic, because one of the things you and I started talking about a lot over the years was horror movies.
Yes.
And obviously, like, I'm sure we have, like, differing tastes on, like, which type of horror we like, because there's so many subgenres. Yeah. Like, if I ever do, like, a found footage episode, I think you definitely have some of your found footage horror opinions on that. But, like, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about was, like, because I imagine you've seen, like, your handful of horror movies in the theater.
I worked at a movie theater when I was younger.
Okay, so I was like, I tell it every time. My first R-rated movie in the theater was Paranormal Activity, and that was just such a boring movie for, like, a 12-year-old to watch. Because it's a good movie, but it's just like for your first R-rated movie, it's like, it's a sheep getting yanked off. The only time I got scared is when the girl walks up to the camera and does the bah at the end. Like, that was the only time it got me.
Yeah.
But I will say, like when you're like, is there any memorable movies you went to go see in the theater that, like, legit, like, whether it was scaring the shit out of you or you saw everybody else just, like, reacting so strongly in a way?
Me and my friends snuck in and saw Blair Witch Project when it came out.
Oh my god!
I'm really dating myself.
Did everybody think it was real?
I mean, yeah, at the time we did think it was real. But everybody was just talking about the whole nausea thing, because it's like shaky cameras, things like that. But a lot of people talked about getting sick. I think somebody actually puked in the theater too while we were watching it. But everybody was kind of just, like, hunched over and like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, these kids are lost type shit. But yeah, I remember sneaking in and watching that, and yeah, I was like, this is kind of gay. And
I will say that, like, I know a lot of people hate this movie, but, like, the 2016 Blair Witch, I will say the final 5 minutes when I was in the theater, my face was my hands were just covering my face and my ears because like I didn't want to fucking because it got me.
Really?
I cannot explain why because I know a lot of people are like, dude, that movie's terrible. I don't know why it is, but those final 5 minutes because it's just maybe it's because again it's a dark house. There's only one light. They you don't know what's going on. And then there's one like I went to go see Us.
Oh yeah, that one
And
was scary.
It was scary, but like when it cut back to the family that's like that's standing out in the corner, the girl next to me screamed, jumped into her friend's lap, and I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. Like they don't do. It's just a shot of them in the background. It's like I understand it's probably scary, but it's like to that level I don't understand. But I will say,
You've never seen a horror movie with me, huh?
No, and I will say, like, I think the scariest movie I've seen in quite a long time, and you and I talked about it, was Host.
Yeah.
And Flip, have you seen Host?
I have not.
Okay, so it's just about an hour long. It takes place over a Zoom session. It was made during the pandemic. And granted, I had smoked a lot of weed before I started watching this. There's one shot in it that had me so scared, I leaned all the way back in my recliner that I completely fell out of the chair.
Damn.
Like, and I can't remember like what part. It's like towards the end. And but I would say also another one I want to discuss with you. We'll discuss some honorable mentions, but we'll do 5 through 2 and our top childhood classic, like what were the horror movies you loved as a kid? And again, I'm sure there's probably some that you still love as an adult. Some of them have held up, some of them maybe not so much, because I feel like as you get older your mind just creates more opinions or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like for you, like what are some honorable mentions of childhood classics when it comes to horror?
For me, okay, Carrie, because my mom would play that for us all the time, and then we would always like quote from the movie, and then Silence of the Lambs, because my mom would play that for us all the time, and we would quote that movie. And then my grandpa, he would always wait till my granny went to work, because she was a lunch lady at a school, and like my granny grew up on a little farm in Georgia, so she can watch a lot of stuff. Like there was one time I turned on Percy Jackson, and like they descend into hell looking for Hades, and like the guy, he's like half goat or whatever. My granny was like, "Ooh, what's going on?" And I was all like, "Damn, I got to turn this off because I know she gets scared." But my grandpa would always let me watch Pumpkinhead.
I know I think I've seen Pumpkinhead. It's one where like I know I've seen bits of it, but I've never sat and watched it from beginning to end.
It's great. And then of course, so I grew up on the Scream movies. So he recorded 1 through 3, and I would watch them on VHS at my grandparents' house. But my favorite one is Scream 2. Scream 2 is the best one out of the whole franchise.
Can I ask why? Because I know a lot of people that would put Scream 2 as one of the lower ranking ones.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. So after everything has happened at Woodsboro, like now they're going into college. Sid's trying to like get away from that image. It's already bad enough that she's got a spotlight on her. She's in a relationship. She's trying to join this sorority. She's trying to have a normal life. And she's got a black friend who's like trying to keep it real with her because Black people gonna keep it real with you all day, every day. Okay, you need realness. So she's trying to assimilate. Randy is still kind of like trying to assimilate, but he can't assimilate because he's already lived this horror life. So now it's like kind of fueling his like film career. And then you see all these changes, even with Gail and stuff. And like just seeing like this whole murder at a fucking college campus that's bringing all these people together over trauma. And then like this is the first shot that we see Dewey, like after being stabbed and after he's healed, and like him and Gail are having a falling out. And it's like the gang has disbanded, but banding over this like tragedy. And then I do find it funny that Sydney wants to fucking be in Broadway and shit and be an actress and like deal with, I don't know, entertainment as if her life is not even on the screen. You know what I mean? Like we watch Jada Pinkett Smith get killed in the first part because the movie Stab, based on her life, had just came out. And so like I don't know. I just think it's really good. I think it's the best.
All right. So there's your honorable mentions.
It's hot as fuck in here.
I know. So those are your honorable mentions 5 through 2.
Okay. What do you mean?
So we're gonna do our top five. So,
Okay.
so you're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll say mine, and then we'll both save our top one for last.
Okay, say that again. I smoke weed.
Okay, so we're gonna name 5.
Uh-huh.
The last one is the last one we're gonna name. We're gonna hold it because that's like our all timer. So we're gonna name the other 4 that we hold.
Not just movies that we grew up with, just all time.
or just like the ones that we loved as a kid the most. So it's like with childhood horror, like what are like the
Okay.
5 like the 5 movies you truly like, the 5 horror movies you loved as a kid.
Okay,
and
I think I got
so,
it.
So like we'll do like the first 4, and like the top one we're gonna save for last.
Okay.
So now give me your first 4.
My first 4.
It doesn't have to be, and again, like I said, like this doesn't have to be like your all timer. These are just the ones you're feeling today.
Okay. Carrie, because I love Carrie. I think it's a great movie. Let's see. Other than that, I'm gonna go Scream 2. That's my favorite. Then I'm also gonna go Pumpkinhead because I really enjoyed Pumpkinhead. And then what else is another one that I'll say Sleepaway Camp.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Honorable mentions for me. This VHS cover scared the shit out of me for years in the video store. And I did not see it until I was like finally like 12. It came out when I was 5. 13 Ghosts.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
13 Ghosts.
I
And-
love 13 Ghosts. It's so good.
Yeah, and what's fun, and I think I sent it to you, but like, so the director doesn't do like a ton of press because he's out of the business. But this horror channel on YouTube got to interview him for an hour and just find out the ins and outs of what it was like, because he had worked at Lucasfilm designing theme parks,
Right.
and he worked as a visual effects artist on like The Abyss, Indiana Jones 3, Hunt for Red October. And then he goes and directs commercials for, I think it was Federal Union Bank for the Super Bowl. And Joel Silver saw one of them one year and basically was just like, you are shooting this movie on Monday. So we had to go and direct 13 Ghosts right away. But the one plus of that, Joel was off shooting the Matrix sequels back to back. So he kind of just left them alone to make the movie they wanted to make. And what I will say too is that if people say this movie is not great, I'm not gonna disagree, because I fully acknowledge like it's it's a haunted house movie, and I think it's probably the most like one
of the best movies
Yeah.
ever made. If someone said it's not great, you should slap the fucking shit out of them.
Okay, because I bring that up is because Matthew Lillard, that's one of the movies he gets stuff signed for the most, and he always jokingly says you gotta get a better taste in movies, dude. And again, he says it like just as like to break the ice.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, so when I saw 13 Ghosts, for one, we made our mom buy it. And like, or did we rent that one? I think we rented that one from Hollywood Video, and we would watch the special features all the time because it would tell you the backstory of the ghost and like, the stories that came with it. And it was so good. Like and then the whole story about why the family's there. Then you got fucking a rapper Raw Digga in there. That was her first acting.
I'm surprised she never did any more acting after that. She was good.
Yeah,
she was funny.
She did something else, but I think that was it. And like, she did such a good job. And then they played her song at the end in the credits.
I've like, since I rewatched the movie like a few months ago, I've been listening to Mirror Mirror like, at least like 1 or 2 times a week for the last like 3 to 4 months. It's just such a catchy song, and it just gets you in a good mood.
Yeah.
And I would say too, like, when I say that movie is very special of its time, is because back then you would give a director, for a first-time filmmaker, $42 million to make a haunted house movie. Nowadays, that's made for probably $5 million and some change.
And you know what? The special effects really held up.
The production design for me, especially on the house.
It's so good.
The detail is so well done.
The detail so well done. And then even like the makeup on the actual ghosts and stuff. Wow, it's just so good.
And then
who's your favorite ghost from the 13 Ghosts?
Oh fuck. Because I don't know him off the top of my head. Whatever the topless chick is with a knife, like whatever.
The angry princess.
Yeah,
that was
the
her
angry
name.
princess. So for me, that's mine. And then another honorable mention, I would say, because I fully acknowledge, this movie is not great, but I had a lot of enjoyment watching it as a kid. And obviously the movie's a little bit controversial now just because of the director, and I posted a clip on it, and it's the most views I've gotten on my page. Jeepers Creepers, Jeepers Creepers 2. Because look, I think that it's a very well made creature movie. I understand why a lot of people don't want to support it now.
Right.
Because I watched it on the Sci-Fi Channel during Halloween, so I didn't know about the pretext of the guy that made it.
Right.
And also, I learned when making that reel, don't post a picture of the guy side by side because everybody says you look like him, and that is just such a self-esteem blow.
Damn, that's cold.
Also, because I was just like, that fucker has 180 pounds on me. You guys can go suck a dick. But like, I will say, like, just Justin Long is so good at it. That's probably like the earliest I've been introduced to Justin Long.
The first one was good. Second one was awful.
Second one, you can tell it was made by a pedophile for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it just like when they sunbathe on the bus, and also like it's always the boys that get picked. It's never the girls.
Well, I mean, they do get picked, but I mean, for one, I feel like in horror, women are sexualized so much that just having hot girls in there already draws that attention. And then they try to do this thing where it's like the men are like tortured into like sexual submission. I don't know if you've ever been to Sinister Creature Con. Have you ever?
I've gotten out twice. I'm looking. If I don't book something that we'll be shooting in Alabama in June, I will be going to that because I want to get shit signed by Skeet Ulrich.
Oh yeah. Good luck paying for that. But you know what? If I do go, we should go together. I love Sinister Creature Con. The last time I went, they had the cast. Well, they had one of the cast members from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. And I forgot what his name is. It's like, but he's big on Instagram anyways. But he was talking about how, because I don't know if you remember that movie and how strange it is from the other franchises.
Oh, for sure. And I will say it does have its moments. And Rennie Harlan, who directed it, that was like his first big Hollywood movie. And because I was watching an interview because he has this shark movie that's out now, I think it's called Deep Water. And he was doing a interview for the movie, and he said, like, making that movie, I was living, because I had no idea what I was doing when I was making that. I was literally living in a hotel.
Yeah.
I think he said I was living at a Motel 6 when I was making this movie.
And it's so funny that he said that because he knew exactly what he was doing. He had a whole script for it that he deviated constantly, and then added all these sexual themes to it. And at the time, the main guy in that movie, who was on the panel talking about it, he was saying that like he was still figuring out his sexuality. And then here he's taking this movie and like now the director is like changing it up and like making it super sexual and making it super gay after he's not even out.
Are you talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
No.
Are we still talking about 4?
I thought you were saying 4. Maybe it is 2.
Yeah, because 4 is the one where it's right after 3, and
it's a Dream Warriors. Is that the Dream Warriors one?
Dream Warriors is 3. 4 I think is.
Can we look up the list of the?
Look at Nightmare on Elm Street. So 4 is the one where the mute boy gets killed by the girl in the waterbed.
Okay, I don't think that was it. It's the one where, maybe it's the second one.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, so it's I think you're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and I was saying
because he's the one with
Mark Canton. Yes,
he was talking about that, and the director. So yeah, I misspoke.
Yeah, no, you're totally good. And I will say like he has a really good documentary about him that was really sweet, very well done.
Like seeing so it was the second one. Yeah. Yep. Freddy's Revenge. So his panel was so sad and just hearing the story in his own words and what happened, like you really feel for this guy because now he's out and gay and proud. But at the time, like he was really preyed upon by the director who deviated from the script and like made it into this like sex torture porn type thing. And they always do that with the males. And like it was pretty fucked up. And even still, like they'll still have like the cast do other conventions where they're doing interviews and stuff, but they never invite him. They always do it separately.
That's so weird.
And he knows it's because he caused trouble by being out and saying like, hey, this isn't right. This is weird. This is like, why are we doing this?
And when you watch the documentary, like pretty much all the cast members like they all love him. It's just like, you know, like it feels like not everybody. I imagine like not everybody's like 1000%.
Yeah, they say that, but at the same time, they're not speaking up for him
for
because
sure.
they're obviously wanting to not rock the boat as well and get their money on the side. And like for a little bit, he was blacklisted for horror movies, for any kind of movies.
Yeah, he didn't work for quite some time.
Yeah, so and like unless if he was, you know, playing the pedophile game, and which he wasn't, so sad. So
yeah, and then another one for me. This came out when I was 10 years old. The 20th anniversary was very recently, and the director, because I was such a huge fan of the poster when I was a kid, I think it's one of the coolest posters of my childhood. He sent me the original artwork that he had drawn as a concept. Do you remember Stay Alive?
yeah.
Yeah, where the tagline is, you die in the game, you die for real.
Yeah.
So that came out in 2006, early 2006, so I was 9, and my friend and I, we saw it was Frankie
Damn, you were 9?
Yeah, so we saw that it was Frankie Muniz in a horror movie, and it's the hands are chained up, and he's holding a game controller. And I told this to the director through Instagram. I was like, we were looking at our moms like, we want to go see that one.
Yeah.
And then our moms were just like, no, you're not. And I will say, like, the PG-13 cut, you could tell it's very toned down, and I cut out a lot of the elements. But when you're 9, it works totally fine. The unrated cut, the true version of the movie, like it's not meant to be like the greatest horror movie on the planet. I think it's just a very entertaining ride. And as somebody that was
Is it? I thought it was shitty.
I mean, also like I have nostalgia for it. So like I said, childhood.
Oh yeah, that's why it's your list.
Yeah, it's my list.
That's why it's your list.
Yeah, and then I just think as somebody that was really into gaming at that point in my life, and I just thought it was just so. I thought the world was interesting, and also like the director randomly talked about during the press because he directs all the orphan movies now, like First Kill, and there's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
He randomly said in an interview, "Oh, we'd love to do a second one." I'm like, I would watch that because if you remember how it ends, the game is unleashed in the world, so it makes you wonder like. Hypothetically, if this game is released into the world, how much of the world population is left? That's where I would be curious. Then it would be like mildly apocalyptic. And my next one is one that I still love to this day. I think it works very well. I think it's the best slasher to come out in that Scream era where they're reinventing the slasher genre. Urban Legend.
Urban Legend is really good. I love Urban Legend.
That like for a first feature film directorial debut, that should not be as well done as it is.
Yeah, I made my mom buy that movie for me.
Jamie Blanks, rest in peace. He passed away fairly recently. I only interacted with him on Twitter a couple of times. He just seemed like a super sweet guy, and I heard he was the kindest.
Yeah.
And everybody said that when they were making that, like he was so in his element, but he was also like so kind.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, that's how you could tell it was his first movie. He was so nice and kind. And I would say that movie, I think, has some really clever ideas. I think Tara Reid has some very impressive stunt work in her kill. And it's a really good cast. I mean, what's funny is for years, Jared Leto, I think he still does. He says like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't know what the movie is.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like weirded out by it, or he's ashamed of it, or he's just that crazy.
He's probably that crazy.
It
was such a good movie. And then like you get a little female serial killer. Spoiler alert! If you care about spoilers,
it's almost 30 years old. That's fine.
Yeah, isn't some people trip about spoilers, but I don't care,
dude. If people get bitchy about getting spoiled, like Citizen Kane or The Godfather, I'm just like, that's on you.
Yeah,
it's like when people like try to spoil or get mad when they spoil Lord of the Rings. I'm like, they throw the ring in and they go back home. There you go. I saved you 14 hours.
Did you ever like the Black Christmas remake?
Which one? There's 3.
Well, the second one.
Yes.
I don't count the newest one.
Yeah, okay.
The one with Michelle Trachtenberg.
That's another one. That was my next one. I was about to talk about that one because that's my favorite of the 3. Like, no offense to the Blumhouse one. I no offense to the people that worked on this. I'm sure they worked hard. That movie was rushed and they completely fucked it up.
Yeah.
Because the director had no time. They were like, she got the call in June where it's like, we have a title, we have a date, we have no script yet. Go. And she had no time to make this, and also making it PG-13 was so fucking dumb,
right?
Especially considering the last one, which was directed by Glenn Morgan, who worked on the X-Files and shit like that, co-wrote Final Destination. He made a movie that was so fucked up and so graphic and so gory, and because I was so in love with Michelle Trachtenberg, like many kids were,
yeah,
I was like, I want to see that. And I was just like, this movie is so gnarly, but I'm so down for it. And I will say, like, it has a lot of craft to it.
It
Like,
does. It was all right.
Like, I know Glenn Morgan has said, like, Harvey completely fucked it up, and I totally understand his frustration because I could not imagine what it's like working with that guy as your producer.
Right.
But especially in the slasher genre and horror because he couldn't do horror for shit. But, like, that one I just think is super entertaining, and I just love it because of how brutal it is.
Yeah.
And then I would say, because that's 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I think that was my 5 through 2. So now this is our number 1. And actually, scratch that. I'll throw in Final Destination 2 also because fuck logging trucks. My mom still sends me texts of logging trucks because she lives in the mountains and drives us and sees them at work.
Oh.
Every time she texts me a picture of logging trucks, I send her diarrhea gifts. So that's what she gets. But so now is our number 1s.
Okay.
What is your number 1?
My number 1. Like horror movie of all time growing up.
Yeah, just like when you were a kid. And again, it could be one that...
Can I be like a little bit older than a kid?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever you want.
My number 1, and anybody who knows me, who's done any of my movie nights, knows that it is The Loved Ones. That's my favorite rom-com.
Loved Ones is really good.
It's my favorite rom-com.
It's really... Flip, have you seen The Loved Ones?
No, I have not.
It is so fucked.
It's my rom-com.
So take that with a grain of salt.
It's my rom-com. I love it.
I would
It's
say-
the princess of horror.
Dude, the Australians know how to make some fucked up horror.
They do.
I will say that because the director of Urban Legend, Amy Blanks, also made this movie called, I don't know if you've seen it, called Storm Warning.
I didn't watch that one.
It is super gnarly. Imagine Straw Dogs. Have you seen Straw Dogs?
I have seen Straw Dogs.
Imagine Straw Dogs, but in Australia during a hurricane.
Okay.
That is one where I'm like, this is so fucked.
Yeah.
But it is such a blast. And this is my number 1. It is my all-time favorite horror movie. It's Scream. The first Scream is just a classic to me.
It is.
And obviously, like, I'm such a huge fan of Kevin Williamson. And when I got to meet Jamie Kennedy, that was the number 1 thing I had to get signed first.
Right, of course.
In addition to my Malibu's Most Wanted, which is one of my all-time favorite comedies.
I'm screaming.
And also, this movie, if somebody says this movie sucks, I understand. But this is a childhood classic of mine when it comes to Disney movies. Max Keeble's Big Move. I highly doubt you even know what that movie is. Do you?
I do. It was fucking not good.
It's okay. It came out when that shows our age gap. It came out when I was 5.
Age gap. Now there's an age gap. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
Well, because again,
That was cute that you really thought I was like a few years older than you.
I thought it was only like a few years older than me. Truly. And then
black don't crack.
Amen. I know this because when I was growing up, like a buddy of mine's grandmother, she was I think like in her mid to late 70s, but she looked like maybe mid to late 40s at the most.
Damn.
And I was just like, I think it was like 9, and I asked, I was like, I think your name was, I forget what her name is, but I'll just say like, hey, I was like, hey grandma, like, because it was like her birthday was coming up, and I was like, how old are you gonna be? And I think she said like I was like, she was like, honey, I'm gonna be like 75 or whatever. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Holy crap! Because I was like 8 or 9 or whatever, and I was just like,
has your voice always been high pitch?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's like slightly
deeper. So when
deeper
your
now.
balls dropped, did the octave go up?
So it was like really high pitched, but then like this is me like after the testicles descended.
Really?
And what's funny is that like when my voice it can sometimes get really deep because like when I was sick, people are like when I get sick, my voice gets really deep.
Damn.
And people are just like, holy fuck, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, what's your deal? And no, that was where I was like, damn, grandma, you're just the fucking 70s, goddamn.
Damn.
And I will say that it speaks to me as a film nerd. Like I related to Randy so hard,
right?
And I think the MVP of that movie is Matthew Lillard because he's just so unhinged in the final 30 minutes. And it's funny when I watch it every time, and I've seen it like I don't know how many times. Every time I watch it, I try to pick up on little clues or hints to give that they give to the audience. Like, hey, these are the people that are doing this. I cannot find any. I cannot find any clues that are like little gimmies to get the audience's like brain going. I'm like I know how it ends. I am still trying to find little clues. I still can't. And I will say also, and the reason why I'm not as high on Scream 2 is because they killed Randy.
Well, he had to die. He knew he was going to die. That was the whole point. That's why the rules make sense.
And also, and you know what? And I've learned this. I think it was on a tweet from one of the people involved. You know why they killed him?
Why?
Because the script got leaked, and they were so terrified of everybody knowing what happens, they threw off everybody by killing Randy. They did that just to throw everybody off.
How do you feel about
Scream 7?
I don't know if it's 7 or I haven't seen the newest one.
Okay.
But the one where I think it was, maybe I was watching 5. I don't know if I was watching 5. I saw it with somebody. We went to the theater, and I didn't realize that at this point they have evolved and that they brought in Randy's like niece and nephew.
Those are my favorite characters of the new ones.
I like those kids. I think they're fun.
And I forget her last name, Jasmine something. Especially her outfit in the newest one, I was just like, you look good.
Yeah, I need to watch the new one.
Yeah, it's if people say this is my least favorite one, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Right.
It is my least favorite, but I still found enough to where like I'll give you a 3 out of 5.
I didn't like 4. I was not a big fan.
A lot of people love 4. Me, it's like they're just because Randy was like the one person that everybody tried to go and ask for shit.
Right.
In Scream 4, everybody's a Randy.
Right.
So that throws away like the one person who has the key to all this knowledge.
Except for I did like Hayden being a Randy because she was definitely tough.
Dude,
and
she was so great.
So great.
And I'm so glad they brought her back for 6. I was so happy to see her come back. And because I would say like I loved 5. I really enjoy 6. 6 is ridiculous because it's just like when certain characters get stabbed like 30 times, I'm like, you should be dead already.
Right. But that's the whole slasher thing. It's so great. I laugh during horror movies. So like, and I'm a big Terrifier fan. Like those are my favorite. That's probably my favorite franchise right now.
Yeah.
Of all time. But I fucking love that shit. It's so good.
And then so it's. And I would say, like, if somebody asks, like, what's your favorite type of horror, I would probably say slasher. It's the one I've probably seen the most. Great. And the thing is, if people say they're lazy, I'm like, no, it's the people who are just following the same shit and they're not trying to make their own spin on it, then those are the ones who are the lazy ones.
Did you ever watch that show on Netflix called Slasher?
It's been on my watch list for like years. I still need
to watch it. Really?
Yeah, I still need to watch it.
Yeah, out of all the anthology series that I've seen, that's probably my favorite one.
Okay.
I liked 1 through 3. After that, I was kind of like the 4th one wasn't that great, but the first one, the second one was good too. I really enjoyed it. So
yeah. And then, I was gonna say, like, now that we've named our list, and we were wrapping the show up. And,
yes, we're wrapping it up, so we'll talk too much.
Yeah, I was about to say though, like before I give you because every guest gets a couple of DVDs. From me, I would actually know like how has the experience been shooting the episode with me?
Oh, it's been fun.
And you're a fun person to talk to, Thelonious. So, like I said, I like to give everybody a couple of DVDs.
You're giving me DVDs?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's see if I already have them or not.
Okay, so here's the first one.
Because I collect a lot.
Okay, so, and again, if you do have this one already, and you know what? This one's in a gold case. So
it's in a gold case, okay.
So this is, I think, like, one of, like, this was the first movie that really showed, like, Brad Pitt's an actor. And I think this is Bruce Willis in true, like, movie star moment where it's like he's commanding the screen, but also he's giving a great performance. 12 Monkeys.
I don't want it.
Do you not like it?
No, I didn't like it. I don't want it. Sorry. I hope you have a rejection fetish because I'm very picky about the movies I have.
Okay.
How many movies do you have down there?
It's just 2.
Fuck.
All right.
Okay.
And because every guest gets 2, and then the only reason why Caitlin got a bunch is because Caitlin have kids. I want to get her something for her kids.
Right. Oh, that's sweet.
And then this one is a comedic drama that is really bittersweet, but unfortunately it's just overshadowed by a lot of tragedy after the movie was done with the director. And it features a really wonderful performance by Kerry Russell. Have you seen Waitress?
I have seen Waitress.
There you go.
Okay.
And then
let me see the 12 Monkeys. I don't want to. I mean, I like Kerry Russell. Don't get me wrong. I just it's a little too light for my collection. One day I'll have to let you see my movie collection because there's some scary things in there.
Oh, I bet it's super fucked up.
I kind of like fucked up things. But I did like this Waitress movie. It was all right. But you know what? This a white girl's pipe dream. I don't want it. So I'll take the 12 Monkeys.
Let the record know that is the first time where a guest has denied a gift. So
Fire.
you know what, Flip? Waitress for you.
Yeah. I'll take the 12 Monkeys.
All right.
Where'd you get? Oh, you got it from the Cave.
Yeah.
I was weak. Do you like buying movies from the Cave? They don't have a good selection.
It's my go-to for like buying stuff on a budget.
Really? Do you ever do like, amoebas and Rasputins in the Bay?
No.
We'll have to do that one time because I like to get like headphones and like if you don't mind being in a store for hours searching through titles, I usually do that with a homie and I'll put on my headset, I'll put on my music, and I'm just combing through movies constantly and I get there super early so I can do it all. But we're wrapping up.
I was going to say like Flip, any final thoughts?
No, a lot of great movies considered. One that I was hoping you guys were going to talk about is that movie Leprechaun.
Oh, Leprechaun, yeah.
That's all right. Unless if it's Leprechaun in the Hood, that one is a good one.
Didn't they do 2 of those?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like he went to the Hood twice.
Did he go to the Hood twice? I mean...
I know he went to space, too.
I know he did go to space. I didn't watch that one. I only watched Leprechaun in the Hood because niggas was in it.
And then also, isn't Ice-T in that one, too?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, no,
other than that, though, I think absolutely great episode. A lot of good horror movies. Shout out to y'all. That was great.
You should watch The Loved Ones.
The Loved Ones?
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
one that we were talking about. It's the Australian horror movie that we were talking about.
Let me see.
I know that song that she plays all the time by heart. Am I not pretty enough?
This movie?
yes.
Is my heart too broken? It's my favorite rom-com. It's so good.
Yeah, you're a scary human being.
A little bit. Yeah, I literally like sit in horror movies and I just laugh because it's so funny. Like I saw, what's the recent one I just saw? Hokum.
I'll have to check it out.
I still need to watch that one.
Hokum is really good. You'll like it. I laughed a lot. It wasn't as funny as I thought it would be, but it was still good.
Alrighty then. So this has been an interesting episode, to say the least.
Yay!
Thank you for taking at least one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I had to take one,
Yeah.
but so I took the 12 Monkeys.
Okay, and then you know what, Flip, have a nice date night with you and your wife when you watch Waitress. You'll have a good time.
Yeah, y'all will like it. I will.
But yeah, no, this has been another episode of Danny Loves Movies. I'm your host, Danny Till. The Thelonious, this has been a great time. And at this moment, because I don't know when this episode's going to come out, do you have any shows coming up in the next like 5 to 6 weeks?
I'm still trying to figure out if Funny Join is happening this month. Hopefully soon. We've just been having some issues with getting venues. So look out for that. If not, I have 2 shows in June that I'm really excited about. I'm doing Artie's show, Everybody Eats, in the big room, and then in Callback Bar on the same night, I will be closing out Mike Wreckers for Jesse Rivera. So that's the 2 things that I'm excited about coming up.
Cool. Yeah, no, this has been another great episode. Glad we're officially now in the double digits. This has been episode 11. I've been Danny Till. That is a wrap, everybody. Hope you guys have a good time. Have a good night. And leave a comment, subscribe, what you like, what you dislike. And yeah, have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.